This is a follow-up to my game development video I posted months ago. Sorry it took so long to follow up, but me being brand new to this, as you guys can imagine, creating video games take a long time, and not knowing what you're doing takes even longer. So I've been doing a lot of tutorials and studying and researching. But yeah, I'm excited to show you guys what I've been working on. This is a game I'm trying to put together by scratch, so I'm going to show you off first. It's a space shooter game. It's a 2D space shooter game, more arcade type of gameplay. We'll hit play here and see what we got. It's very simplistic right now. But as you can see, there's a moving scrolling background. Your character can move around, and there is boundaries, so you can't just go out of bounds. And your player can shoot. You can hold down the trigger, and it has a little cooldown to it, so that way you're not just spamming it like crazy. And there's a limit to how far you can go as well. And there's a UI system where it keeps track of how many asteroids you blew up. And then when you die, so we'll go ahead and die, and I'll show you that. It waits a few seconds, and it puts you right back to the beginning. You start over. So it's not. I started working on this, and then there's things I was wanting to do, such as enemy AI, making other ships move. I think it'd be cool if you blew up an asteroid and two of them came out, the big one. I think that'd be neat. But there's some things I want to improve on and work on. Obviously needs a menu and everything else, menus like a main menu and stuff. But let's show you what it looks like outside, like in the engine. As you can see here, the game world is obvious. It's infinite. The game world is, for those who don't know anything about video games, is infinite. So you're confined in what is the camera. As you can see, the asteroids, they spawn off screen and they go continue off screen. I have it set up where they only live for 5 seconds. The reason why you need some type of thing programmed in your script as far as their lifetime is, if you're playing this game and the guy's running it and there's nothing scripted, where either these asteroids or your bullets that miss that go off the screen, if they don't have a timer to expire, those games will go on for that would go on forever. Because if you, as you can see, like, this game is infinitely big. So that means these asteroids would go forever in the game world. And your computer keep up with that many game objects, eventually what would happen is your computer would crash. And so it's important to code that type of stuff in. But yeah, it's a little bit behind the scenes as far as what it looks like. Obviously you don't see the UIs for the score. The UI is very weird. The UI is like way up here. That'd take a whole nother video to explain all together why that is. But yeah, this is just a quick tutorial as far as what we got going on. Oh my gosh, where are we at? We're main camera. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so this is the game I've been working on. It's not much. The other game we'll show you is through a tutorial. I've been going through and been learning a lot through it, and we're gonna show you that because I've gotten a lot more done with that. This game is just called Monster Chase, and we'll hit play, and I'll be able to show you guys. So when we hit play here, this is the main menu. You either select one or two characters, and it'll spawn your character in. So we'll select this guy. So what this game is, so we have, left and right movement, because it's more of a platformer, and you have running animations, and you also have jumping animations. Monsters should be spawning. There we go. And you just jump over the monsters. That's what this game is. There's 3 types of monsters, which is cool, because this definitely helps me out in my other game trying to spawn different objects. But they just kind of run past you, and there is a boundary to this game. If I can get to it without dying. So you can only go so far where it lets you. And then when you run into these guys, this game doesn't reset for you. Instead, there's buttons. There's a little menu system up here. You either hit reset, and it resets the scene for you. Maybe you have a little jumping animation too. Or you hit the home button, and it takes you to the home screen. And we can select this other character. And he's coded. He has a separate code than the other guy. But he's coded the exact same way. So he's very similar animations, and very similar controls. But yeah, that's that game. So let's get behind the scenes here as far as what it looks like. Main menu is really nothing to show. But when we go to our gameplay scene, so we skip ahead. There's not a character that by default in the main menu, I'm sorry, by default in the gameplay screen, if I hit play, you won't have a character. The reason being is I mean max, but you can see there's no character when we start the scene. The reason being is because it takes the main menu, whatever button you push, it loads up this scene and it dictates what you push depending on your character that you want to play. So that's why there's no character here right now. And you see the monsters, they're spawning and they go across, and what happens is when they get to the very end, there's a little boundary, it's an invisible boundary here that cleans them up. And so that way they're just not, just like the last game, you gotta have a way to clean up these guys. Otherwise, you can crash somebody's computer if if it's just overeating and trying to keep up with everyone. This is different though. These monsters don't have a lifespan. What it is there's a boundary that they run into, and the boundary is like that bullet from the last game where it destroys them. So they're just running into a shredder basically. But that's what that game looks like as far as an outside perspective. The animations is kind of cool because what it is, I'm a little more knowledgeable too on animations than I was originally when I had the first video. We have enemies here. We'll just show these enemies. So you have the little animations, right? They're frames. So every second that goes by, this is a bad example. Let's do our player. Every second goes by, so this is his running animation down here, if you can see it. It goes through all these steps, and that's him running. And let's find our player. Boom, prefab. So there's a little animation tool here, right? You create little animations. Run. Okay, so we hit play, and it goes through all these animations. Because what I do is I take those images and put them up here in this timeline one at a time, kind of like movie editing software. And that's what creates the animation. What you got to do is you have to code the animation, like you have to code when the animation is going to be played. So when the player moves along the x-axis in a positive manner, this is the animation that's going to play. Because obviously he's running to the right, if you think of it like a grid. Anytime he runs in a negative x direction, so he's running to the left, I have it where it flips the image and he runs. So it's actually like the images are all one way. It just flips them when you're running along the x-axis. The jump animations, which is odd, is the jump, right? So I actually didn't even think about this. I wonder if like the jump, I wasn't paying attention. I think he was facing the right way when he's jumping, but this is the only animation I have when he's jumping. I think if you were to sit still, he would always face this direction, but if you run into the negative direction, because I have it coded how you walk, he flips. That's probably why he's flipping. I didn't think about that till just now, but I think he's facing the right way, otherwise I think it would have stood out to me. But yeah, that's his jump animation, but it's literally a single image. And then we have this right here in the game, this little deal. This is not code, but this helps the game. This helps the code talk to the game, and the game talks back as far as what's going on. So in my code, I have it where scripts. Let's find it real quick. This may not make any sense. But my code, right, I have it, so this is right here, when animated player, this animation talks to this right here, it talks to this, and this talks to the animations, so it's like a three-way conversation, and what it is, see, so if you move and along the x-axis, and it's greater than 0, means a positive number, then your animation is true, your walk animation, you're running. Else, if you're going in below 0 along the x-axis, so in the negative direction, then you are, your walk animation is true. And then I'm so sorry, I think no, that's right. Yep. I was getting confused with this true and false statement here. But this true or false statement below it is talking about if it should be flipped or not. So if he's running along the positive direction, false. He does not need to be flipped. If he's running negative direction, it needs to be true. He needs to be flipped. Else, the walk animation. So if he's standing still, I don't need a walk animation. So the walk animation is false. And it's cool if you don't understand that. But just a little behind the scenes as far as what this stuff looks like. And this is him jumping. The jumping doesn't have to do with the grid. It's just like literally if I press a space bar, this guy is going to apply a force. So it's just saying it's applying a jump force. And it's a jump force of a certain value. And the jump force is it's saying that it needs to be applied in the Y direction of the grid. But that's, yeah, it is cool. I get it. It's a lot to take in. It's even a lot to take in for me sometimes when I look at all this. It takes me a minute to look at it and be like, okay, what am I talking about? And some of this code is not even being used. Like this thing is jumping. Like I thought I was gonna use that. I never even used it. I could literally delete that line. And it honestly wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't affect the game at all. So, but yeah, this is just a little bit behind the scenes. I just wanted to put out a video. Yo, I'm still doing it. I'm still trying. I'm actually starting school for game development and coding and all this next year. So I'm really hyped for it. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep working on my own, and I should be hopefully ahead of the curve. And by the time I finish school, I'm hoping to have a couple games released. Nothing big, nothing like Grand Theft Auto, no big games like that, but just small little indie projects. And they may never be like available to be on sale. I'm hoping to release some of them and put them out there for free. Not stuff like this. This is a little bit too simplistic. Like I want to do something like this and be like, yo, check this out, because it's not that cool. Like even when I play, it's not that fun, but it's a great project for me to work on and just start putting this stuff together. So I can't create anything complex. Even this AI in this game is very simple. They just run in a random direction. But you know, it's a start. And then you start coding more things that he has to be aware of and more things he has to do. And it's great. Because honestly, when it came to that last game about spawning asteroids, I didn't know how to spawn multiple different asteroids, so asteroids look differently. But now I do. And I think I know how to make the asteroids spin as they're coming. So it looks a little bit more floaty, like it's in space and it's moving. That'd be cool. But yeah, just different things. I honestly didn't know how to. This game had it where you change a property and make things scale. So like the last game, I think I figured out how to make it where when you blew up an asteroid, you can have two of them spawn, but it was two of them at the same size. So it's like it just kind of like spawned two of the exact same thing, which I don't want to do that. You want to be able to blow it up, and it spawns two littler ones. And other than that, I've actually have other projects in the background. I got tons actually in the background that they're just really incomplete games, but I was just messing with different aspects. This is a little more complete. That's why I was wanting to show this one. But some games that were like doing the effects. So when I shot and it hit something, it actually made like a little explosion or something. And I have another project where I was working on sound. So when you shot, it made a sound. Same with playing music in the background, you know, a menu system and a UI system showing your health and stuff. But that was, all of those are pretty incomplete, and I didn't want to show them just because there's not really much to look at. And so this is a little bit more impressive as far as being able to see like, oh, this almost looks like a game. So, but yeah, that's it. More stuff to come. Hopefully, it might be a little bit because again, this stuff is. It's a lot. This year I've been going to school for teaching education, so I've been going for a teaching education degree. So on top of my normal schooling that I'm trying to do well in, just to keep my GPA at a good level, I'm also doing this on the side as well as working full time. So hopefully, schooling's in a week, so hopefully I can invest more time into game development learning, and then my schooling's gonna go hand in hand. So as I'm doing this on the side, I'm also studying for school technically and preparing for my future and hopefully a job in this industry. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and like I said, more to come.